When I was in the octagon, I always wanted my people in the crowd. There's nothing like your people going insane at the fight. So it was always important to me that my people could get the best seats at the best price. And my sponsor, Game Time, is the best way to do that. Look, I'm not easily impressed, but Game Time got me. It's the only ticketing app that gets you complete peace of mind with your purchase. I can actually see the view from my seat on my phone before I buy. Their all-in pricing shows me my total cost up front. And I can buy tickets in seconds with just 2 taps. No queues, no spinning wheels, no stress. Just me, my phone, and a couple of killer seats. They've even got incredible zone deals. I pick the sections, they pick the seats, I save even more. And Game Time is proud to offer the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. They have your back with Game Time ticket coverage, including the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, 24-hour returns, and more. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time is going to give you 110% of the difference. That's not talk, guys. That's a guarantee. Download the Game Time app. Use code Chael and get $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, zero stress. Just click the link below. Ronda Rousey was doing an interview with Bert Kreischer. And Ronda said about Joe Rogan, she said, he's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience. That's great. That's great. Ronda went heel. Ronda turned heel on Rogan to Kreischer, who is Rogan's friend. Great. We're going to make some entertainment. My takeaway, though, as I sat and I watched that, is that it wasn't a performance. It wasn't a character in front of a camera that decided to go heel. I came away, possibly being a mark, but believing that it was a real moment, that somebody had their feelings hurt and was now lashing out. And that's always been a piece to the Ronda story that has interested me, captivated me, bothered me. None of it's real. The only thing that's real is the money and the miles. That's it. All the time that you had to be away from home and how much money you've got when the whole thing's done. That's all that's real. Your house, your family, your community, people you see each day, the store you shop out to get your groceries, the pets that you may or may not have outside. That's real. What somebody says to you on social media isn't, but it never was. And you don't get to choose. You don't get to go, well, this was real and they all loved me. No, they don't. They never loved you. Well, this is awful. I'm having this terrible day. Everybody hates me. No, they don't. Nobody hates you. Nobody's even thinking about you. Except for the ones that are in your house, that are in your neighborhood, that are in your community. Nobody has any opinion or love for you or hatred for you whatsoever. And that's always been a part that I never felt that she understood. I never felt that. And it's very important for reasons that are unclear to me that when the story be told that she was the biggest star and the biggest draw and the entire reason that women's MMA is here. And those are all really nice things. But therein lies my point. That the only thing real is the money and the miles. There is no statement that she was the biggest draw that's true. There is nothing true about the fact that without her there isn't women's MMA. That's really important that the story be told that way, but I'm just sharing with you, and I don't say it to be a jerk, but I could say it a different way to try to be nice. What difference does it make? It doesn't fall into the category of the money or the miles, so it doesn't matter anyway. So if you're the right person at the right place and you get this nice spotlight put on you, that's a good time. Where you're putting in the miles and you're making the money, because when it's all done, it's the only thing that you're going to have. Vince McMahon, who is a master of psychology, in front of any psychologist or any PhD or anybody that's practiced psychology, they would all stand down to Vince McMahon. Nobody understands the human mind and how to garner a reaction better than him. And Vince McMahon was doing a piece. It aired on something called HBO. And it had to do with Andre the Giant. And Andre the Giant was a big, massive star. He had a great life and made a bunch of money, and people knew who he was. Not just because he was 7'4" and he was 500 plus pounds, but because of the way that Vince McMahon billed him, made him the Giant, put him in cartoons, put him on ice cream bars, sold merchandise, so on and so forth. And when it was all said and done, Andre had a real disdain for Vince. And Vince spoke about that. And he spoke about my opinion and my feelings towards Andre never changed, but I always knew the day would come when he would resent me. Because what Andre didn't understand is that he has a career. And that career is a window. But my career as the promoter doesn't have a window. So the day will come when Andre, as a performer, and is his involvement in this company or his involvement in the sport, the day will come when Andre's participation is done, but mine won't. And whether he suffers an injury or he gets too old or the crowd just isn't interested in him, when the day comes that he's no longer part of this industry, I'm still going to be here because my role doesn't go away. I don't get too old or I don't get too broken down. As the promoter, as the guy on the outside setting up the cameras and booking the venues, I'm going to be able to do that forever. And Vince spoke about this, and I just share with you, as simple as that statement was, I see it in our sport all the time, and somebody will always rise up. And when the fans seemingly turn on them, it's not real. The fan has to be with somebody that's here, or the fan dies. If I'm a fan of the sport, I have to have somebody that I cheer for. I have to. And if that somebody starts losing matches and it looks as though isn't going to be in the sport much longer, I can die with them. I can go down and I can die with them, or I can jump. Just like a barnacle, I can jump to a different organism that is going to be around for a little while. And guess what? Don't have your feelings hurt, because this new organism that this barnacle jumped to, they're going to jump off of that one as well. The fan has to do that, or their career dies. Their involvement dies. Their involvement goes away when you go away. So it's not personal, and they don't really not like you, and they don't really cheer against you. The part that you had wrong is when you thought that they were with you and they loved you. That's the part you got wrong. They were never with you, and they never loved you, and there's nothing mean about that. It's called being a fan. And Ronda's a fan of things too. I don't know what those might be. Maybe it was a judo player and an amateur and it was USA resident, but she's not still with them. She herself did the very thing that she's having a hard time accepting happened to her. The U.S. judo team would love to have Ronda come in. They would love if she went with them to the World Championships or the Olympic Games, or just popped in and did a session at the Olympic Training Center. None of those things have happened. When she was done with that, she put that toy over here and picked up something else. World Wrestling Entertainment would love to have her at the events and out there doing media and at the training camps and bringing girls along, but none of those things happened. When she was done with that toy, she put that in the corner and doesn't play with it anymore, but had a hard time when it happened to her. When she was a big star in the UFC, and the one person that could get on Ellen's couch, the moment that she left the UFC, she stopped showing up to events, she stopped cornering people, she stopped doing media, she stopped participating. When she was done with that toy, she put it in the corner and moved on to something else. But when people did that to her, it was supposed to be some kind of like a grave insult, and it wasn't an insult at all. She doesn't have to go heel on Rogan if she wants to for performance reasons. It's very entertaining. But the part that she got wronged is the idea that everybody hates her. They don't hate her. They never loved her to start with.